Listen to me. Too many of you are wasting energy pointing fingers at everybody else for where you are right now. You're blaming your parents. You're blaming your boss. You're blaming your friends. You're blaming the system. You're blaming your circumstances. And I get it. Life hasn't been fair. It hasn't handed you everything you wanted. But let me tell you something. The moment you keep passing out blame, you also keep passing out power. Because every time you blame, you give somebody else control over your future. And I promise you, nobody else is going to care about your life the way you should care about your life. Nobody is going to fight for your dreams harder than you. You've got to stop living like a victim. You've got to stop telling yourself because you were born in this neighborhood, because you didn't get this opportunity, because somebody did you wrong, that somehow you're stuck. No, you're not stuck. You've convinced yourself you're stuck because it's easier to point out who hurt you than to own the part of your life that you can change. But until you look in that mirror and say, this is on me, you'll never tap into your next level. I'm not saying those challenges didn't happen. I'm not saying the pain isn't real. What I'm saying is this: if you keep focusing on who hurt you, you will stay hurt. If you keep focusing on what you don't have, you will always feel empty. But the moment you take ownership, the moment you say, I decide what I'm going to do with this, everything shifts. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's freedom. Because when it's on you, you have the power to change it. And some of you, you've been waiting for years for someone to apologize. You've been waiting for someone to come back and fix what they broke. You've been waiting for someone to recognize you, to see your worth. Stop waiting. Stop putting your destiny in somebody else's hands. They can't fix you. They can't heal you. They can't build you. Only you can do that. That's why I'm telling you, stop pointing fingers. When you point at somebody else, think about it. You got one finger at them, but you got three pointing back at you. That's life telling you the truth. It's not about what they did. It's about how you respond. It's about the discipline you build. It's about the decisions you make every single day. That's where your future is. Somebody in this room, you keep saying, if I just had a better environment, I'd do better. If I had more support, I'd grind harder. If somebody would just open a door for me, I'd walk through it. No, you wouldn't. Because the problem isn't the door. It's you not being ready to walk when the door opens. If you don't work on yourself, if you don't prepare yourself, if you don't own the process, even if the opportunity comes, you won't be ready. You'll miss it because you never learn to take responsibility for the small things that prepare you for the big things. I had to learn the hard way that nobody was coming to save me. Nobody was going to put me in the game just because I wanted to play. Nobody was going to hand me success just because I said I was hungry for it. I had to go get it. And that's the reality you've got to face. Success doesn't come to those who wait. Success comes to those who own every decision, every mistake, every failure, and use it to grow. I know it feels easier to blame. I know it feels easier to say, it's not my fault. But easy doesn't build you. Easy doesn't stretch you. Easy doesn't turn you into who you're supposed to become. Responsibility does. Ownership does. And I'm telling you right now, the most powerful thing you can ever do in your life is stop blaming and start building. Stop complaining and start creating. Stop pointing at others and start pointing at yourself, saying, I'm built for this. I can handle this. I will take control of this. Every great person you admire didn't get there by blaming. They got there by owning. They looked at their life and said, I might not control everything, but I control me. I control my effort, my grind, my mindset, my response. That's the difference. And until you make that same decision, you'll keep watching life happen instead of making life happen. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop pointing fingers? Are you ready to stop waiting for someone to hand you the life you want? Because the truth is, the life you want is already in your hands. You just keep dropping it every time you put the blame somewhere else. Take it back, own it, build it, live it. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can stop you is you. Everything starts in your mind. Before the dream becomes real, before the money shows up, before the opportunities open, you've got to win in your head first. Too many of you are trying to change your life while carrying the same broken mindset. You say you want success, but you think failure every morning you wake up. You say you want discipline, but the moment things get tough, you talk yourself out of it. Your mindset is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. And the problem with some of you is you keep loading your mind with negativity and then wondering why your life feels so heavy. Understand this. Your body can't go where your mind hasn't already gone. If your thinking is small, your actions will be small. If you believe you don't deserve it, you won't chase it. If you see yourself as average, you'll settle for average. The shift happens the moment you stop letting outside voices dictate what you can or can't do, and you start feeding your mind the truth of what's possible. Every time you wake up, you have a choice. Are you going to focus on the problems, or are you going to focus on the possibilities? Because what you focus on multiplies. You keep telling yourself, it's too hard, I can't do it, nothing works for me. And then you wonder why your life keeps proving you right. Change the story in your head, and you change the story of your life. Stop underestimating the power of your self-talk. That voice you hear all day, it's either building you or breaking you. It's either telling you to get up, grind, and push, or it's telling you to quit, to settle, to hide. And here's the truth. Nobody can hear that voice but you, which means nobody else can change it but you. If you keep feeding your mind fear, excuses, and doubt, don't be surprised when your actions mirror the same thing. But if you start feeding it with discipline, with belief, with vision, your actions will rise to match it. Some of you are putting in work physically, but mentally you've already lost. You're in the gym, but in your head, you're saying, I can't do this. You're studying for the exam, but in your head, you're saying, I'm not smart enough. You're showing up at your job, but in your head, you're saying, I'll never get promoted. You've already disqualified yourself before life even had the chance to test you. Stop that. Start telling yourself the truth. That you are capable, that you can do it, that it's possible for you. Because the mind will always believe what you keep repeating. Discipline doesn't start when you're lifting the weight. Hey, it starts when you decide in your head that no matter how heavy it feels, you're going to lift it. Success doesn't start when you walk into the room. It starts when you see yourself as worthy enough to be in the room before you even step foot in it. You've got to build your mind so strong that no matter what comes at you, you've already decided you're going to endure. I need you to stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a victor. Victims say, why me? Victors say, try me. Victims see problems. Victors see challenges they can grow from. Victims keep waiting for someone to rescue them. Victors know they've got the power to climb out themselves. The difference isn't in the circumstance. It's in the mindset. If you want to shift your life, you've got to shift what you allow in your head. You can't be feeding on negativity all day, scrolling through nonsense, comparing yourself to everybody else, filling your mind with doubt, and then expect to move in confidence. Protect your mental diet. Guard your thoughts like treasure. Because they are, your thoughts create your habits. Your habits create your future. And it all starts with what you allow yourself to believe. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you think you deserve. And if deep down you don't believe you're worthy of greatness, you'll sabotage every opportunity you get. That's why the work starts inside. When you finally see yourself as valuable, when you finally believe you deserve more, your actions will line up. That's when the grind becomes natural. That's when the discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like alignment. I need you to start living like the person you want to become right now in your mind first. See yourself winning before you win. See yourself rising before you rise. See yourself breaking through before it even happens. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. If you keep imagining failure, it will become real. If you keep imagining victory, your life will move in that direction. So hear me. Don't just work on your hustle. Work on your head. Don't just change your schedule. Change your self-talk. Don't just grind for success. Grow into the mindset that can sustain it. Because the way you think determines the way you live. And if you don't shift your mindset, nothing else will shift. Because at the end of the day, your life will always rise or fall to the level of your thinking. Everybody wants the outcome. Everybody wants the applause, the money, the freedom, the lifestyle. But let me tell you, outcomes don't come first, inputs do. The world has tricked you into chasing the finish line without preparing for the race. You keep looking at somebody else's success and asking, how did they get there? But the better question is, what did they invest in themselves before they ever got there? Because the truth is, results are just a reflection of the work you've already done when nobody was watching. You want respect. Respect doesn't show up because you demand it. Respect comes when your character demands it. You want success. Success doesn't just show up because you wrote it down on your vision board. Success comes when your skills, your discipline, your consistency line up with the vision. Too many of you are begging for results without putting in the kind of growth that produces those results. And then you get frustrated thinking life is against you, when the reality is you just haven't built yourself into the kind of person who naturally attracts what you want. I need you to understand this. Stop chasing rewards you're not ready to hold. Because if you get it too early, it will crush you. That's why some people blow up and then fall apart. They got the spotlight before they built the foundation. They got the title before they built the discipline. They got the platform before they built the character to stand on it. Growth has to come before results because growth makes sure you can sustain the results once they show up. Think about it like this. If you plant a seed today, you don't walk out tomorrow expecting a tree. You water it, you nurture it, you let it grow in the dark soil where nobody sees. And then over time, it breaks the ground. It grows roots strong enough to hold the weight of the branches, and eventually it bears fruit. But too many of you are planting seeds and then getting mad because the tree didn't show up overnight. You're skipping the season of growth and wondering why the fruit isn't there. You've got to fall in love with the unseen process. You've got to value practice just as much as performance. You've got to put as much energy into the training as you want to put into the winning. Because the person who masters the process is the person who's always ready for the results. That's why champions don't just show up. They've been working behind the scenes when no one was cheering, when no one was clapping, when no one was paying attention. That hidden grind is what makes the visible glory possible. And let me be real with you. If all you're chasing is results, you'll quit the moment it doesn't show up fast enough. That's why people start diets and quit after 2 weeks. That's why people start businesses and quit after 3 months. That's why people start chasing dreams and give up after the first setback, because they were addicted to results, not committed to growth. But when you focus on growth, setbacks don't break you, they build you. Because you understand the losses are lessons, the pain is progress, the process is shaping you for something greater. Invest in your growth, build new skills, work on your weaknesses, strengthen your discipline, grow your character. Because the person you're becoming is more valuable than anything you're chasing. You don't get what you want, you get what you've grown into. Life is not giving you what you wrote down, it's giving you what you worked on. Stop asking, when will I get there? And start asking, who do I need to become to deserve to be there? Stop asking, why don't I have the results yet? And start asking, what part of me still needs to grow so I can handle it when it comes? That shift in perspective changes everything. Because the moment you commit to becoming more, everything you want will start to come naturally. Listen, I know it's hard to wait. I know it's frustrating to grind day after day and not see the reward right away. But trust me, every small investment in yourself is building something inside of you that cannot be taken away. Skills can't be stolen. Discipline can't be lost. Character can't be faked. Growth is yours forever. And once you've grown into that person, the results have no choice but to follow. So don't chase the fruit. Grow the roots. Don't just dream about the finish line. Train for the journey. Don't just want the blessing. Become the person who can hold it. Because when you invest in your growth first, the results will always come. Because at the end of the day, the outcome is just a reflection of the person you've built yourself to be. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world, it's against yourself. It's not the people doubting you. It's not the obstacles in your way. It's not even the circumstances you're facing. It's the voice inside you telling you to take the easy way out, to hit snooze one more time, to quit when it hurts, to give less when you know you've got more in you. That's the fight. And the moment you learn how to win that fight, you become unstoppable. You don't need to control the economy, the weather, or the people around you. You don't need to control who likes you or who doesn't. You don't need to control the world. You only need to control you. That's it. If you can master your emotions, if you can master your distractions, if you can master your discipline, every other door in life will open. But if you can't master yourself, even the doors that do open, you won't be ready to walk through them. Think about how much energy you waste losing battles to yourself. You said you were going to wake up early, but you didn't. You said you were going to eat clean, but you gave in. You said you were going to focus, but you got distracted scrolling for hours. Every time you lose to yourself, you weaken your own trust. You start to doubt your word. And the problem with that is, if you can't trust yourself, nobody else can either. Self-mastery is about building that trust back. It's about being the type of person who says, this is what I'm going to do, and then actually does it. No excuses, no detours, no waiting for motivation. Just discipline, just focus, just follow through. When you start living like that, your confidence grows, your influence grows, your life grows. Because success is never about what's happening around you. It's always about what's happening inside you. And don't get it twisted. Self-mastery is not about being perfect. It's not about never slipping up. It's about catching yourself faster when you do. It's about recognizing the weakness and refusing to let it define you. It's about learning how to say no to the wrong things and yes to the things that will take you higher, even when it's uncomfortable. Growth lives in that discomfort. Strength is built in that discipline. Freedom comes when you stop being a slave to your impulses and start being the master of your choices. Some of you think freedom is doing whatever you feel like doing. No, that's not freedom. That's slavery to your feelings. True freedom is when you can tell yourself no and actually mean it. True freedom is when you're in control of your habits instead of your habits controlling you. True freedom is when you don't need someone else to check you because you've learned how to check yourself. The truth is, most people never reach their potential because they never win the war within. They keep letting emotions lead instead of principles. They keep letting comfort win instead of purpose. They keep letting fear decide instead of faith. But when you flip that switch, when you finally say, I'm done letting my own weakness stop me, that's when everything changes. That's when you step into a level of power most people never experience because they're too busy trying to control everything and everyone else instead of learning how to master themselves. Understand this. When you control yourself, you can't be controlled by the world. When you know how to discipline yourself, distractions lose their power. When you know how to manage your emotions, negativity can't shake you. When you know how to govern your own choices, opportunities can't pass you by because you're always ready. And let me be real, self-mastery is a lifelong process. You never arrive. You just get stronger. You just get sharper. You just get more consistent. And with every small victory over yourself, you become more dangerous, more focused, more powerful. The world doesn't need more people chasing everything outside of them. It needs more people who are willing to conquer the one thing inside of them that's been holding them back. You don't need to be better than anybody else. You need to be better than the version of you that keeps showing up with excuses. You don't need to control the whole world. You need to control the thoughts, the habits, and the decisions that shape your world. Because once you master yourself, you unlock everything else. Because at the end of the day, the key to unlocking every door in life is learning to master the person holding the key. You.